It is time for Roske.
Are you a superhero?
Politics.
Roske, are you a
Swooshing in.
superhero?
There he is. So maybe only in certain areas of.
Only at night.
So we'll start off with some fun news of the shows last week. Rachel, if you want to show up the first picture, we were nominated for an Emmy this week. I'm very relieved.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The half-hour version of the show was nominated. Obviously, the show just started in January, so it is nice to be recognized so soon. And I must thank you guys and the station because it started with this segment. There was no half-hour show. I didn't even know we'd actually be doing it as a half-hour show. So Ted Stevens here, Mike Cunningham, you guys, and of course, Molly, you're awesome, but Jackie, your guys' support has just been everything, and that's made the show happen.
You do a great job.
Yeah.
You really do.
So what's interesting about the Emmys, it was the only Iowa weekly politics show to get nominated.
There you go, yeah.
Also, you know, you talk about why would a politician want to do these things? Well, the episode that was actually nominated was the Bernie Sanders episode from February, is the one we sent in. And as you've been talking about today, big news about the Sanders Day. Now, this, I always find this interesting. You know, I get a bunch of the email aggregators in the morning. I get roll calls. I get politicos. So here's how the Sanders polling is showing up. MSNBC, Sanders surge in Iowa. The Hill says Sanders rallies. Politico, Sanders overtakes. Time, Sanders takes the lead in Iowa. And the story, of course, he's now up by 1 point. But the Quinnipiac, here's why it really is a big deal. Quinnipiac did this polling, and the last time they did this was 2 months ago. He was trailing by 21 points.
Wow.
That's a big...
Yeah, that's
2
great
months.
perspective, yeah.
2 months, a 20-point jump in 2 months, and that is a big deal. Politico saying Sanders tops Hillary. So because my show endeavors to be as topical as possible, this Sunday you'll actually see my chat with Sanders from this week, actually. And the news out this morning follows right into what we're going to talk about here. Some folks are saying, okay, he's up in New Hampshire, he's now up in Iowa. What does that say? Can he actually win in the general election? So I thought, I've been hearing that from Democrats, so here is me asking the candidate that question. Here's his answer. Some Democrats are concerned about a Sanders campaign in the general election. What would you say to assuage their fears?
I would say that, in fact, if we want to win this election, and by that I mean not just the White House, but regain the U.S. Senate, do well in the House, hopefully regain the House, do well in governor's races all over this country. There is no way that that will happen unless there is an energized base, unless millions of people who previously have given up on the political process get involved once again, and not only vote, but become actively involved. In my view, the Republicans did not win the midterm elections. The Democrats lost the midterm elections because turnout was abysmally low in my state and all over this country. And you got millions of people out there, working people, lower income people, people of color, who look at the politics. They look at establishment politics and the same old same, and they say, why do I want to bother to vote? You know, I'm going to vote. It's the same old stuff. The rich get richer, everybody else gets poorer. So we need candidacies, not just at the top of the ticket, but on down, that are prepared to stand up to the billionaire class, prepared to stand and fight for working people, involve people in the process. And when voter turnout goes up, Democrats across the board are going to win. I think I am the candidate to do more to increase voter turnout and enthusiasm among Democratic supporters than any other candidate.
So if you tune in Sunday, you'll see it's actually half the show is my chat with Bernie Sanders. You'll also see the clip. NBC had their satellite in there, and he did a small press conference. There's about 6 of us after we did my little sit down. Actually, the sit down was after. But he goes, so Hillary has come out a bit strong for you this week. She seems like she's coming after, and he goes, don't tell anybody. I think they're getting scared. So it was really fun. It's a funny little moment. But if you tune in Sunday, you'll see me talking with Senator Sanders about the vice president maybe jumping in the race. We'll talk. We talked about the Syrian refugee crisis, also some about renewable fuels, even D.C. statehood. So we cover a lot of ground in half the show on Sunday, so check that out. Also in town last week on the other side of the ticket, so Marco Rubio is actually going to be here Saturday. We were talking about this in the break. The big Iowa Iowa State game is this
And
weekend.
a bunch of, like, it isn't chaotic enough, and now some candidates are going to come to put in the mix too.
So the Iowa Republican Party is throwing an official tailgate party, and it happens up there at Jack Trice Stadium in one of the parking lots up there. And you got 4 candidates. And off the top of my head, I know it's Trump, and it's Rubio, and it's Rand Paul, and I think there's one other confirmed. But in town last week talking about Senator Marco Rubio was somebody who's not really gotten into politics before. Paul Harrison is the star of that show Pawn Stars, and they had an office opening for Senator Rubio up in Ankeny that I went to and sat down with Paul Harrison to talk about why he's supporting Marco Rubio. Let's take a little look at a clip.
I am in Iowa to stump a little bit for Marco Rubio.
Now, it's an interesting choice. Your business background, some people might say, well, he's going to be a Trump guy all the way. Why did Marco Rubio get your endorsement?
Well, first off, he's electable. Okay, and I mean, this is a guy who understands people. Donald Trump. I've never met him, but I'm sure he's a really, really nice guy. But he, growing up, never heard the words like, "No, we can't afford that." I just don't think he relates to what the real problems are with Middle America. And Marco does. I mean, I have never really stumped like this for a politician in my entire life. I'm in the entertainment business, which means I'm, supporting a Republican, which means like half my endorsements just went out the window.
And I think I called him Paul Harrison, who's a Democrat here in town. That's Rick Harrison.
Rick, no, I got a question for you about it since you sat down with him. Did he pull any smokes out or anything? Because we hear him laughing all the time on the show, and he has to be a smoker. Do you have any idea?
Sure.
Rick? He did.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
Okay.
Nice guy, real nice guy. What's interesting about Rick Harrison there, before we started, he said that their show, going into the 13th season, it's aired in over 150 countries and translated in over 20 languages.
No way.
He showed me this video on his phone. They were at a mall in the Philippines, and it was 5 levels high, and there's just thousands of people. And he goes, "That was for me and Corey." I'm like, "You're kidding me?"
No way.
Yeah, they're superstars all over. So it's hard to believe. So anyway, you'll see that on Sunday. You'll also see Governor George Pataki from the State Fair. There's stuff I haven't even shown from the State Fair yet. So you'll see me chatting with George Pataki. We talk about. He's got the quote, I think, of the episode. I said, "So State Fair, what's your favorite part?" And he goes, "Well, Brent, I'm a beef guy." So you can see him say that much more. And Mark Everson.
Cattlemen's are going, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Mark Everson, who is here on this show, we show a little bit. Mark and I did a whole episode at the iCubs game, but then all these people keep coming into town, so I'm going to show a little bit of that and a little bit next week. So that's this Sunday on this channel.
Now, how about that? When's your show going to go to an hour? You're going to be needing an hour here pretty soon.
Give me a whole day.
Yeah.
It'll be you and I, Lou.
Sunday, Brent Day.
It's Roske mornings on
right.
Sundays.
So yeah, the show this Sunday will be good, and October 3rd is the actual Emmy ceremony. So fingers crossed. There's 7 shows nominated. Like again, most of the other ones were specials though. So we'll see what happens. But happy to be nominated.
I just like the fact that you started on this program, you have your own now, and now some other stations in town are trying to emulate what you do, and not quite pulling it off. So I think that should be a compliment to you. Well done, buddy.